We are back with a new redesign video. So I saw Sonic 3 a couple weeks ago, and ever since, I've been minorly obsessed. Okay, minorly may be a bit of an understatement, but since I literally cannot think of anything else currently, I figured we might as well make some Sonic redesigns. Or I guess not redesigning them, we're going to be giving Sonic and Shadow some human designs. Now, I'm not going to waste any more time, let's just jump right into it. So first up, we have Sonic. Now, usually with my redesigns, there's a lot of prep work beforehand. Before I start drawing, I like to make a dedicated Pinterest board with plenty of outfit inspiration, character references, the whole works. I'm not very good at making cool looking outfits just out of my brain. It's just not something that comes very easy to me. So I gotta make sure I have a clear vision of how I want my design to look, or it'll just end up looking like me. I have a really bad habit of giving every character my hair type, style, just outfits I would wear. Which, yeah, that makes sense. We all have our biases and preferences of what we naturally like. So it makes sense that I just kind of gravitate towards those things. But it's something I try to avoid doing and stay aware of when I'm making redesigns. Because if given the option, everyone would have a curly-haired mullet. But for Sonic's design, I didn't do any of that. For the first time, I think ever, I had a pretty clear vision in my head of how I wanted this guy to look. So no prior thought went into the design beforehand. I just started drawing. The goal was to go for a bit more of a casual tech wear style. I wanted to try to keep both of my designs, both Sonic and Shadow, younger looking. Sonic is usually portrayed around 15, 16 years old. I wanted to keep that in mind while drawing his outfit. I don't know how well I ended up doing on that front, but that was my thought process. Now, as I continue sketching, you'll see me just constantly messing around with the base pose. One of my goals for 2025 was to get better at my posing and anatomy. I've noticed my art often looks stiff and uncomfortable, so I was thinking a lot about how Sonic and Shadow were going to be standing, and I think I got a little bit in my head about it because I was struggling to the point where the drawing you're seeing currently wasn't even my first attempt at drawing human Sonic. I had to redo it and just start over because I was just struggling so much. In the end, I'm glad I did, because this wasn't it. Yeah, it's all practically the same outfit and same design, it wasn't working. I think I was just having a bad art day. But after I got the base sketch done, I could finally go in with my line art. I was really happy with how many small details I got to throw in. The patches on his jacket being the rings and the Master Emerald. I thought him wearing a knee brace made a lot of sense. Same with the band-aids and scrapes. I don't really know why I left his shoes untied. Logically, since he's a runner, he would need to have them tied, but I don't know. Sonic just has, I don't know how to tie my shoes energy, so sorry, I don't make the rules. And the last detail I bounced around was if I wanted them to have animal ears or human ears. In the end, I obviously, as you can see, went with the more animal ears, and I think it was a good choice. So these are more human-adjacent designs. Luckily, everything else about Sonic's design came together really easily. Once I had the line art done, coloring was a breeze. The Sonic characters all have really distinct color palettes. Just by looking at the colors, you can immediately pick out who they belong to, and that makes them really easy to work with. Sonic's main colors are obviously blue, along with red and white, and I threw the goldish yellow, along with pulling green from his eyes, into some of his jacket patches and pins, just to add a little bit of accent colors to his outfit. I have just been so excited to have a new hyperfixation. The last major fixation I had was Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that was back in July, August. I wasn't expecting Sonic 3 to pull me in so deep. I don't know what about it got me so hooked, but it did. I was always a casual fan of the other movies, but it never went any further than that. But ever since I saw this movie, I've been on a deep dive into the Sonic lore and world, just trying to absorb as much information as I possibly can. As I briefly mentioned earlier, I've been drawing Sonic nonstop, so if you're interested in seeing any of those, definitely check out my Instagram and/or Etsy shop. I'm currently working on some new Sonic keychain designs and stickers that'll be up for sale soon, and I would really appreciate you checking that out. But with that self-promo out of the way, here's the final Sonic design. There's not much to say that I didn't already say earlier. I'm really proud of how he turned out. I like his face up a lot. I don't know, something about it. He just looks really cute, really friendly, and I think that fits him pretty well. Let's not waste any more time and let's just jump straight on into Shadow. Now, Shadow, I will admit, I had a bit of a harder time with than I did Sonic. I mean, come on, this is Shadow the Hedgehog. I had to do him justice, and that pressure was getting to me. He had to have a cool outfit, but I didn't want it to be basic or lame. I wanted it to be super cool, accessorized, and detailed, but not to the point where it's like out of character. I don't know, I was struggling. I needed ideas, but I didn't want to turn to other Shadow designs for inspiration in fear of just consciously ripping them off. So I started with what I did know. Some loose-fitting jeans for the pants felt safe. Now, what about the top? I bounced around the idea of having like a sleeveless turtleneck, but that just didn't pan out how I was imagining, so I went back to the basic t-shirt idea, and that still felt too basic. So I thought maybe a cropped shirt would work better and give it a bit of a better silhouette rather than just having baggy pant, baggy shirt. It breaks it up a little bit more. Now, would Shadow the Hedgehog actually wear a crop top? I don't know, man. I'm just winging it. It looks cool, so I guess we're going with it. I added a couple layers by putting a turtleneck under his top and fishnets under the pants, because I guess we're just doing whatever now. Now, moving on to the hair. So I knew I wanted to be longer and curlier than Sonic's. Granted, almost every character I draw ever, again, ends up with some type of, at least a little bit of wave in their hair, so this was inevitable. I ended up with almost kind of a mullet-esque haircut, which I really like how it turned out. The top bits where it kind of flares upwards look somewhat reminiscent of his spikes, so I think it works. With the sketch done, I can finally move on to the line art and start finalizing some of the smaller details. Now, I think like adding the line art and the final details really pulled this design together. I got to add his symbol to his shirt and pants. I don't really know why I went with the lightning bolts on the other pant leg, but I think it looks cool. I added some gold bracelets to his wrist as kind of like a small homage to his inhibitor rings. But yeah, that's about it for the small details. Moving on to the color, just like Sonic, it is pretty easy to work with. I bounced around a little bit the idea of what color his top should be. I was kind of worried that it ended up being too much white with the white shirt and white shoes, but I mean, Shadow's colors is black, red, and he's got quite a bit of white on his design, so I ended up saying it was fine. But with the gold accents and the red stripes running down his shirt and pants, I think it pulled it all together really well. I really like how it turned out. I don't know, it's simple, but I think it looks really nice. Just like enough detail and like extra bits to pull it all together without looking overwhelmed, if that makes any sense. With all like the fear and like uncertainness I had going into Shadow's design specifically, I think he turned out really well. And seeing the two designs together, I think really sells it, at least for me personally. I don't know why, I just think they look really nice. I think these are some like the favorite designs I've ever made for my redesign series. I don't know, something about it. Maybe it's because I'm really into Sonic the Hedgehog, but I don't know. I like how they turned out. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments, which one's your favorite, or if you hate them both, tell me why. I'd love to talk about it. But yeah, with that, that's the end of this video. I am thinking I'm going to do the rest of the Sonic cast soon. I think making Knuckles, Tails, and Amy would be really, really fun. And then if we're just gonna do them, we might as well do Rouge, Silver, and Blaze. And then if we're doing them, we might as well do Team Chaotix, and we'll keep going until this becomes a Sonic the Hedgehog themed channel. But if you're interested in any other redesigns I may do in the future, consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me, and you'll stay up to date on all the new Sonic the Hedgehog designs I will do in the future. That is, unless the hyperfixation dies right after I post this video, and then we'll probably never touch this franchise again. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!